Great. Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Thursday, April 9th, year of our Lord 20 and 26. My Cordaro Jeweler's watch tells me it is 9:09 on the dot. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it because we are making things right in the world. It's also the place where the brave, like veterans, we will salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. Like Arthur Bockelkamp, West Abington Township, Gerald Reich, Luzerne, and Myron Fezchak, Plains Township. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers, who knew that government should not be, could not be, never shall be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, because its power always means less freedom, less liberty, and less choice for Americans. These amazing founding fathers knew that government power, because of human nature, should only be a necessary evil designed to protect and organize society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups, couldn't be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, even if they use it to lie. They're free. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, well, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And yes, the double entendre is intended. And so, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. Gentle warning, this is not a safe harbor for stupidity. It will be roundly and, dare I say, harshly attacked throughout the program. We will not suffer fools gladly, and their foolishness and ignorance, willful or otherwise, will be called out with intent, purpose, and vigor, designed and sadly necessary to save our great republic from evil, senselessness, and weakness, which can bring this noble and successful experiment down if we do not honor our obligations and aggressively oppose it. And so we will. That's the way it works here. Well, great to be with you on this beautiful Thursday. A little chilly, and it is garbage day in the hill section. And they have now graded my street. I started to talk about this yesterday, and I got interrupted. Probably by myself. And I said, well, I don't want to be one of these, everything's wrong just because it's Paige Cognetti. Well, here's the story. And just to show you how you take care of the basics shows your level of competence. Now, our mayor, and I'm walking Chauncey yesterday, and I realized this, oh my God, this past fall, They just painted all the crosswalks that they are now digging up. Now, number one, I have the right to continue to complain even though they've graded the street and they're going to pave it. And why do I have that right? Because it's been that way for 5 years. 4 that I've been living there. You tell me you can't pave a street, you don't have a paving program when you've been handed $69 million by the federal government, you don't have anything going on. And then to prove your incompetence one step further, this past fall, they painted all the crosswalks. What has happened to all those crosswalks? Well, all the painting that was done is all dug up. Yeah, somebody saying pothole page. Now, they put an LOL in the text. Well, it's not funny. It's insane. But I'll say LTS back at you. This is incompetence at a level, and she wants to be the congressperson. It's incompetence at a level that I've never seen before. I really haven't. And I lived through Jimmy Connors. But see, Jimmy cared, and he genuinely loved the people, which made up for a lot of his incompetence. But it's unreal. They just painted the crosswalks, and it dawned on me yesterday walking Chauncey, because I have a little signal: stay, stay, stay. You know, he'd run right into a car. It's useless. So I say stay, and then I say laney lane to walk in the lane. Well, the lanes are all gone because the ones that were just painted, and I couldn't figure out why they were painted in the first place, have now been dug up to pave the streets. It's just that you can't make it up. And I've had neighbors thanking me. But, I mean, it was so awful. Doesn't matter what I was saying. And you could drive all over the city. People telling me about Southside, and I've been there. Telling me about Greenridge. It's a level of incompetence none of us have encountered. None of us. It's beyond comprehension. So now all the newly painted crosswalks are dug up on the streets. Lee said there was a shooting in Scranton last night, and I guess one after Parade Day, but they didn't talk about much. Well, yeah. I mean, you're not going to see things in the newspaper because they don't want to show what a disgrace this mayor is. They love her because she's a left-wing lunatic. Unreal. Hey, just a reminder, and an important one, I might add. Our friends at Roach Supply sponsoring the live stream. Go to WILKNewsRadio.com. Roach Supply is the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. I can attest to that. And they're celebrating 75 years in business. Now, when somebody's in business that long, and we're on the 4th generation, because I believe even our great veteran Ronnie Roach, I think his father had something to do with the beginning of it. He's 93. So I think we're 4 generations. I'll get that confirmed. But if you're in business 75 years, that means, number one, you deliver product, price, and service, and you're honest without fail. That's what that means. So that's what we love them even being associated with the program. And, of course, this hour of the Bob Cordaro Show brought to you by Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Premier Sotheby's International, Naples, Florida. She is your trusted guide, which is very important. You got to trust them. You got to know they're good, and you got to know they're honest. She's your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You can get her through Sotheby's International, Naples, or TinaMorocco.com. That's MURACCO. We'll take a break and be back. The Righteous Brothers. They had the number one hit this date, 1966, with You're My Soul and Inspiration. And the history moment before that, Confederate General Robert E. Lee, he surrendered. It's hard to believe. 1865, and this is the date, to Union Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant, Appomattox Courthouse, that tiny little courthouse in Virginia. And, well, the better intentioned people just said that, well, we're going to get this country back together again. But then you had the racists, you had the charlatans, you name it, who were going to take advantage of the division, and they were going to sow it even deeper, or certainly as deeply as they could. Hey, Trump administration, they renewed, my man Frank Mack sent me this a few days ago, and I took note of it and I saved it. They renewed Planned Parenthood grants for the final year. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. What did we elect you for? That really ticks me off. Planned Parenthood is, they sell organs. They kill as many babies as they can. It's their business. Founded by Margaret Sanger, to cull the population of minorities and undesirables. That's Planned Parenthood. Disgusting. Somebody says, hey, Bob, by the way, thankfully Rob Bresnahan is now running commercials. That is good. You can't give this left-wing money for Paige Cognetti all. You can't seed the ground. And I've been telling him that since the summer, but at least we got started. It's very important. People don't pay attention. You do. All of you, or you wouldn't be listening. They don't pay attention. They actually think and can be convinced, we'll put it that way, that Donald Trump's the problem with the affordability crisis, such as it is, by the way. The fact is, working and middle-class people under Trump's economy, just like in his first term, are finally making advances against inflation. Now, I can only give him tremendous credit for this, which is he could have delayed a much greater loss of life and treasure for the U.S. military. He could have delayed the Iran action till after the midterms, and we could have been going on swimmingly with cheaper and cheaper gas prices and all of that. But he is not about politics, thank God. Less than anybody I've seen. Although I shouldn't say that, because I remember Ronald Reagan, and a guy named Paul Volcker was the head of the Federal Reserve. And he raised interest rates to high double digits. And Reagan never criticized them because he knew they had to defeat the stagflation that Nixon and Carter policies had created. Important stuff. But he's saying, we have to do it now. If you wait 8 months, 9 months, they'll be even stronger. Thousands more ballistic missiles, most likely a nuclear, or certainly the technology to develop nuclear devices. And maybe knowing that I'm coming, that the United States would be attacking, maybe the detonation and the use of those nuclear weapons. This is the clear thing about this conflict. And oddly enough, Mike Pence was on Fox and Friends this morning supporting what Trump is doing. I like Mike Pence. He got a little silly. He got a little Trump derangement syndrome, but he's at least making sense on certain things. What is undeniable about this conflict? Number one, Iran's leadership was evil. That's number one. It's undeniable. Subhuman, driven by the devil himself. Number two, they were rapidly arming themselves to control the Middle East and beyond. That's number two. Number three, their sick cult and their leadership believed, their clerical leadership believed that it was their duty to bring about the return of the 12th Imam, which to those of us in Christian West is the apocalypse. They believed it was their duty to bring it about. Number four, the reason they wanted nuclear weapons, they didn't need nuclear power, obviously. That's a joke. The reason they wanted nuclear weapons and were spending billions to do so was to use it to bring about their version of the apocalypse. Number five, their ballistic missile capacity was substantial and growing and was meant to shield them from anyone who would try to stop their nuclear ambitions. Now, these things are all true. They were looking to bring about the apocalypse. No one with a brain larger than a pea could deny that if they actually paid attention to any of that country's recent history, that of the last 47 years. That was the intent. And here's another truth. If they could kill every single Israeli, they were going to do so. It was fully their intent. Next, if they could kill every single American and destroy our society, our culture, our way of life, they would not hesitate for a moment. I go back to the same apocalyptic Islamism that took down the World Trade Center. And I want to ask you, and these questions, and the answers to these questions are also obvious. 3,000 were killed that day. Does anyone hesitate to believe if they could have killed 30,000, they would have held back? If they could have killed 3 million that day, does anyone believe they would have hesitated? If they could have killed 30 million September 11th, 2001, does anyone believe, and if you do, you're an idiot, sorry, I'm done with nice words here. Oh, well, you got your perspective. No. If they could have killed 30 million, they would have done it. If they could have killed 300 million, they would have done it. It's an apocalyptic cult. It's an Islamic fanaticism. It is an existential danger, more than China, more than any of our adversaries. Oh, and by the way, they are in this country forming radical mosques. Oh, yeah, and our Governor Shapiro just funded one of them in Philadelphia to the tune of $5 million. This is what these sickos are doing. This is what the Democrats are doing. Because they see the short-term benefit of associating and aligning with sick Islamism. Isn't that unbelievable? Oh, Chuck Schumer, yeah, he could stay as the head of the Senate and maybe be the Senate Majority Leader if he plays his card right with people who would kill him, an American Jew, in 2 seconds. Same things with the gays, the lesbians, the whole, oh my God almighty. Unbelievable. This is who we're against. It's serious business. Let's take a break. We'll be back. We got more serious business. Our Veterans Tribute. Less serious business, the weather. And then you, 570-883-0098. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. And yeah, we're heading towards the weekend. So it's the last day of my week here anyway. And we've got 3 amazing bar restaurants you're going to love, I'm telling you. Gorgeous, clean, great service, amazing food, great drinks. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern, the reimagined legend in the Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. And then amazing fine dining at the Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. And I was looking at the new Fred Stegmeyer Mansion, which is a bed and breakfast right down the street from the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion, the restaurant event space that I brag about all the time. Unreal. I'm going to do a staycation there. And you come up north, you got a Terra 519, one of the most gorgeous, amazing restaurants with a tremendous bar on Linden Street in Scranton. And you know what? It's the weekend. Sergei's will be open tonight. No cover charge. I was there last weekend, dancing with Cutie. Great stop. Arthur Bockelkamp. We lost him at age 82, March 8th. He was from West Abington Township. He died at home. Born in Scranton, a graduate of West Scranton High School. He later earned an associate's degree from Keystone College. He was a switchman for Verizon, formerly Bell Telephone, for many years until his retirement. So many of these veterans, they just go to work. They do their job. They come home. They take care of their families. A hidden superpower, believe me. He's a member of St. Matthew's Evangelical Lutheran Church, Scranton, a veteran of the U.S. Navy, and a member of the Waverly Lodge Masonic Temple. Art was a simple man, jack of all trades. There was nothing he couldn't fix. It's a skill he passed along to his children. He was a family man who loved unconditionally. Surviving in addition to his wife, or a daughter, Heidi, and a son, Richard, nieces, nephews, godchildren who he treated like grandchildren, and more. Arthur Bockelkamp, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort. They are swinging into spring. Today, sunshine and a few clouds, breezy this afternoon, gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush result in high fire threat. So just watch it. High 62. Don't be throwing matches and cigarettes around, you dummies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 40. Tomorrow, turning out cloudy and then warmer. The high will be 77 tomorrow, low of 42. Saturday, mostly sunny and cooler, about 60 degrees, low of 32. Sunday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a nice 65-degree today with a low of only 50. Monday, warmer with variable cloudiness, high 74, low 56. And that's your weather from your Montage Mountain Resort friends who tell you that the temperature right now is 46 degrees on Montage Mountain. That's B.J. Thomas. Murph says this date, 1966, he moved into the top 10 charts at number 8 with his hit, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. And that was Lawrence O'Donnell. Now, if these people, the MS Now hosts, if they were put into Clark Summit State Mental Hospital, they would never get out. Now, this is a guy, he's offended that Pete Hegseth used the word get our men out. We get them all our men out. Now, it's irrelevant that they happen to be men, just fools, and, I mean, just like ludicrously insane people like Lawrence O'Donnell. He was offended. Wow. This is so off the charts. I'm telling you, if you're watching MS Now, and you watch it on any regular basis, you're dumber for having done it. And then we needn't wonder what happened to you. Seriously. Wow. Somebody echoing something I said. Of course they're sick, meaning the Iranians. They just killed and tortured 30,000. The number's up to about 45. 45,000 their own people for dare speaking out. The listener continues. Then the poor nurses who went to administer to the people were all gang raped. These people are sick. But Trump is bad because he uses mean words. There is no redeeming quality to the arguments of the Democrat Party right now about anything. It's unreal. The stupidity, the willful ignorance, the hypocrisy is so off the charts that you really can't have an intelligent discussion with any of them. Cabinet guy, and here's the whipped cream on the spit. Cabinet guy says, how can he be offended, Lawrence O'Donnell be offended that women weren't mentioned if they don't know what women are? We'll take a break and be back. Paul McCartney and Wings. Murph says this date, 1973, they released their first hit. Not their hit. They released their hit, My Love. Great song. Bob Cordaro back with you. By the way, Sue the Cat was also on that. She said, but they can't describe what a woman is, but they're offended when you don't mention a woman. These people, I always point to the zero lack of self-awareness. They really don't understand. They appear not to understand what they've said and what they've done in the past, nor the idiocy of their current positions. It's a remarkable thing. Lawrence O'Donnell is sitting there being, he's seething. He's seething with anger that Pete Hegseth didn't mention women, which, by the way, there weren't any women shot down. The pilots we had to recover. It was two men. He's seething over the fact that women weren't mentioned when there were no women there. But he will stand up. This is the Paige Cognetti thing. This is the left-wing lunatic. By the way, we're seeing that come true in Virginia. Spangenberg, which everybody knew she was a left-wing lunatic. But she denied it, and she pretended she was normal. That's what Paige is trying to do. No, I'm normal. I was against Joe. All of the record shows her defending the open border, defending Joe's mental acuity, and they pretend it didn't happen. You know why? Because they think you're not paying attention. They're playing you for saps. This is the Democrat Party, the sap party. These are the Democrat voters, the saps. I was saying it during the election. Aren't you? I would be wildly offended. Like just for example, let's say I'm a dedicated left-wing lunatic, and I'm in Rob Bresnahan's congressional district. And Paige Cognetti is now pretending she's not one of you. That would offend me so much that I would not vote. I'd say, oh, my God, she's ashamed of the things I believe in. By the way, you don't believe in them. You feel them. They are no more than feelings. The stupidity is so much that if you think that Trump's trying to be a king, well, then we cannot help you. We can't help you. Your feelings, untethered to reality, fact, or truth. So you just look at it and you say, if Paige Cognetti's going to now pretend she was against the open border with repeated statements to the contrary during the Biden administration, then you've got to be offended. And if you're not, then there's something wrong with you. There really is. Yeah, cabinet guy striking again. He says they criticize Trump for the ceasefire. Then when he doesn't attack, they criticize him again. Make up your mind already. Yep. Yeah, I'm all by somebody else. Never forget how she backed renaming the Central Scranton Expressway the Biden Expressway. Yeah, that is our embarrassment to the world, that we're such stupid rubes that we will associate with the scumbag, Joe Biden. But on top of that, we're too dumb to know how horrible he was. And how little attachment he had to Scranton, by the way. Until the Obama people, and I want to remind you of this, the Obama people who were clever politicians, Joe never had anybody very smart around him. The Obama people said, oh, make him Scranton Joe, like make him sound like he's a real man, like he's a working class regular guy, Scranton Joe. They came up with it. He was too dumb to come up with it himself. He never associated himself with the city. The Obama people came up with that for him. Scrappy Joe from Scranton. He used us for branding. I know he's been visiting regularly. Oh, that's right, he hasn't. Since he's president. Since he left the presidency. Yeah, he's not. He hasn't been here. I know. And yet idiots are putting up wrongfully, foolishly, embarrassingly putting up hometown hero banners for a guy who never served and who actively dodged military service. Yeah, that's where we're at here. All right. My Picardo Jewelers watch tells me that we're headed towards 10 o'clock. And they sell Raymond, Weil, Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock. And guess, you know what? I just love to visit there. I'll be visiting this afternoon. Cutie got her rings resized. And I get to stop. I'm actually excited. I'll get to stop there this afternoon. Picardo's. You got to check the place out. And they are great people. Another company, just like Roach Supply, 3 generations. Well, that means not only doing something right, not only are they taking care of anyone who asks, that means they're honest and they know what they're doing. We'll be back. with a little help from Governor Palin. Great good morning, everyone. It is 10:08 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch this beautiful Thursday, April 9, year of our Lord 20 and 26 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John, like Arthur Bockelkamp, West Abington Township, Gerald Reich, Luzerne, and Myron Fezchak, Plains Township. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, who we will not allow to be canceled, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment. This meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you who hearken here. Yes. Oh, Lord. And I mean, you've got the entire Democrat Party. You've got the public service union leadership. You've got academia. You've got the media. You've got the heads of these NGOs, nonprofits, foundations, all telling you that what you see is not true and that here's the insanity that actually is true. You need the sanctuary of sanity. You truly do. Well, the deadline for Trump's bomb them back to the Stone Age plan has come and gone. And I call it a fig leaf. It's nothing more. A fig leaf negotiation has occurred to fend off that disastrous possibility, and maybe disastrous for us in terms of public relations, and maybe disastrous in terms of world economy, in terms of oil prices. But now we're in at least fake negotiations. Maybe they're real. We don't know. And I'm not saying the people on the other side don't exist. I'm saying they may not have authority. We don't know where all this brings us. So when we have these questions, we turn to Brady Knox. He's the foreign affairs reporter for the Washington Examiner, and he is with us now. Brady, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show. How are you?
I'm good, Bob. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, so what we thought was going to happen, and what was a real possibility, I think, was this severe attack on power plants and other infrastructure, bridges and so forth, that Trump had threatened. Did, in your view, the Iranians actually back off, or was everybody looking for some way to avoid this ultimate attack?
I would say that it was probably every party had I think there were several different dynamics going on, but I think that Iran was probably genuinely scared of the kind of civilizational threat that Trump was leveling, because especially since everyone was treating it as very serious all around the world, and Iran probably figured that it would bring immensely bad PR to the United States, but if all of their power infrastructure was destroyed, the IRGC also wouldn't be able to rule over Iran anymore. The country would be in complete shambles. And I also think that Iran, despite their stranglehold over the Strait, did desperately need at least a breather in the conflict, given that they haven't been able to fully rally after their whole leadership was killed and their military vastly degraded. So I think that the kind of calculation going on in the IRGC's minds was estimated that, they needed some kind of way out, and that this was the best way forward for them at the time.
Is the existing leadership of the IRGC the driving force in Iran right now?
Yes, most definitely. And of course, you've seen even past the ceasefire, there's been some contradictory messaging from the IRGC and the nominal government in Tehran. You were seeing yesterday there were a bunch of IRGC-linked channels saying that the Strait of Hormuz was closed after Israel bombed Lebanon. But then the deputy foreign minister came forward early today and said, no, the strait is open, but you need to coordinate with the military because there's the danger of mining. So it seems that Tehran keeps changing its message to suit the IRGC rather than the other way around. Mm-hmm. So all the different maneuvering from Tehran seems to be a way of kind of coping with the IRGC's own way of going about things.
Brady Knox is our guest. He's foreign affairs reporter for the Washington Examiner. Brady, I have compared, and I think the comparison holds true. They are like the SS in Hitler's Germany, and except that the takeover of the economy by the SS in Germany was really more out of personal greed and that kind of thing. The IRGC has institutionalized it. They control pretty much the entire economy in Iran.
Yeah, in terms of a comparison, I think that in terms of like a para-state structure taking over much of the country and driving affairs, I think that would be accurate. And as you said, it was largely greed. It was, in the SS's case, a lot of it was attempting to secure power. Yeah, there was a whole program of essentially bribing Wehrmacht officers in order to dissuade them from criticizing the regime, and in turn they would get more property, they get economic kickbacks. In Iran's case, it's somewhat similar, except in the IRGC's case, the only ones who will receive kickbacks will be those who are actually members of the IRGC or their umbrella organizations like Besiege. So by being a direct member, you get a direct stake in the economy, and so if you're a member of the IRGC or the Besiege, you get economic benefits, you get prestige benefits, you'll get political benefits, you'll get status benefits. So, and of course, after former dictator Ali Khamenei had to hollow out the clerical establishment in order to cement his own power, he had to give them an increasing stake in the economy. And yeah, that in turn, they've fully institutionalized it and now own possibly up to half the economy and are by far the main power player.
Quite amazing. And one of the things I was telling the audience, in my view, was that if we do not destroy their economy, by the way, I almost used the word decimate, which is really bothering me. Everybody's using the word decimate without knowing what the hell it means. Decimate, just for everybody to repeat, it means 1 in 10. Okay, so decimate is the wrong word. President Trump on down. Back to the subject at hand.
I remember you making that point last time too.
It just keeps getting to me, and I almost said it, so now I was actually extra irritated. But if you do not destroy the economy, how do you destroy the leverage of the IRGC to oppress the Iranian people?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. One way is through proper financial pressure, is because the one way you will really get regime change historically is if the elites in power see an alternative way forward as more preferable, that will serve their interests better. So, for instance, in the Soviet Union, when it was about to collapse, the different Soviet elites saw that if they privatized the economy, they would be able to get more wealth, or and they would be able to retain their position to a certain extent, but under a new structure. So, if the U.S. and the West can show money within the IRGC, that's why. And of course, like every member of the IRGC, when it's this powerful of an organization and has this much say over the economy in the state, there are plenty in the IRGC and you could even say this. You're going back to your comparison of within Nazi Germany, where a lot who were members of the Nazi Party weren't, fully diehard believers, but they saw that this was the way things are. So ambitious people would join the Nazi Party in order to get ahead, and it's the same way in Iran, where if you want to get ahead, you kind of have to join the Basij or the IRGC. So it kind of seems like Trump's strategy of trying to find more placable members of the IRGC, so trying to search for people more willing to make deals within the organization, because fully destroying it is, if you were to fully destroy the economy, it would destroy the IRGC's hold, but it would also, really harm Iran's ability to rebuild in the hypothetical event that another regime would take power, and that it would make everything much more complicated afterwards.
The Venezuelan takeover probably gives some solace to IRGC and other current Iranian leadership that there is a route to stay in power, or to at least stay relevant.
Yeah, somewhat, but the only problem with that would be that Venezuela was always much less ideological than Iran, and even, of course, the IRGC doesn't fully share the views of the clerical establishment, those that originally took power in the Islamic Revolution. Of course, most are definitely devout Shia Muslims, but they aren't as concerned with the social policies. They are more concerned with national security and keeping their influence in the Middle East. So the big problem is that while Venezuela, a lot of it was just corruption, and by the end, its ideological steam had really run out, and so people were more, the elites in power in Venezuela are more just looking to keep their wealth or keep their status. Well, in Iran, they've really hitched, even the IRGC's ideology has really hitched itself on being an anti-U.S., anti-Israel, anti-Western alliance. So if they were to go the Venezuela route, that would completely delegitimize their whole project. So that does make it a lot more difficult, where part of their stake is the ideology, and their legitimacy both in power and in the region really rests on this kind of revolutionary anti-Western ideology. So that will be much harder to supplant and reenact a kind of Venezuela scenario in Iran.
If these conversations in Islamabad happen this weekend, who shows up for the Iranians?
I would imagine it would most likely be Aragchi. Of course, we have no idea where Mojtaba is, or if he's even alive. And even though the IRGC, of course, are the ones truly in power, I imagine that Aragchi is pretty close in contact with them. He's not outright hostile. He seems to kind of toe the line between the more moderate reforming faction, which is led by President Pezeshkian, who, for all intents and purposes, seems to have no power at all. So he seems to be able to communicate between the different branches of power in the Islamic Republic. So I think he would at least be able to communicate the consensus view in Tehran and among the IRGC leaders.
We're talking to Brady Knox, foreign affairs reporter for the Washington Examiner. If I'm talking to you next week, take out your crystal ball. Where are we? In the roughly status quo that has been established now?
Oh, that is a very difficult question to answer because especially the big wild card here is Lebanon, where Iran is really digging in their heels, saying that a ceasefire must include Lebanon. And they're even saying that there's a lot of confusion around the the actual peace proposal that was agreed upon, especially because the Trump administration and Iran are floating around like 3 different peace treaties. The Trump administration says the one that was publicly released by Iran domestically was not the one that they agreed upon. But Iran is now saying that one of the stipulations was that Lebanon was part of the ceasefire. But Israel, Lebanon is so high on their priority list, and that has been the main thorn in their side for almost 30 years. So they see this as their ultimate opportunity to finally dismantle Hezbollah and keep the pressure on the Lebanese state to disarm them. So I would say that's the main thing to watch, and that might be resolved within the next few days because both sides are digging their heels. Trump sided with Israel yesterday, so we'll see how that develops. We'll see about the Strait of Hormuz. Even though Iran said it was open, no ships are crossing through at the moment. So I would say it's too dynamic to even predict what the situation will be like next week. I could honestly see any result where going as far as the war will resume to, there's a fragile status quo. I would say those are the two most likely scenarios.
Well, Brady Knox, thank you very much for checking in. Let's talk again soon because the situation's fluid and it really can go anywhere at this point. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Pleasure as always.
All right. Brady Knox, Foreign Affairs reporter, Washington Examiner. We'll take a break. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. This date, 1974, Terry Jacks became the first Canadian since Paul Anka back in 1957 to reach the number one hit in the UK with his hit Seasons of the Sun. A lot of you remember that song. And the Baton Death March. This date, 1942. A guy from Dunmore by the name of Mr. Loftus was reportedly in that. Never talked about it. And I asked him about it a couple times. Had reportedly, after he was done with the Baton Death March, his hair turned white. But he came back to this country. Just a great, great person. Had a big family up there on Greenridge Street. And just beautiful people. And to think of what he saw and what he went through when I think of that Baton Death March, and I've read about it, and I'm even more in awe of Mr. Loftus than I ever was. Incredible stuff. The electrician who's been out of town, he said that he was driving on the Idiot Expressway, which is what I call it. And he hit a pothole and it destroyed his tire. Welcome back to PA. LTS, says the electrician. Well, we're happy we have you back anyway. But you can't just drive willy-nilly everywhere. I mean, if you're going to drive in Scranton, you've got a serpentine. Just like in the original movie, The In-Laws. You got a serpentine, Shelley. Serpentine. Somebody says, Paige Cognetti, the next governor, Abigail Spangenberger, running as a common-sense moderate. Spangenberger no longer a centrist. Beware these left-wingers. They lie about everything. So will Paige Cognetti to get elected. Then it's too late. Vote for Rob Bresnahan. Amen. Amen. However you want to say it. Let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to be joined on the other side with our friend, and we've had him on a number of times, talking about oil. And Jay Young, he knows his stuff. And our price is ever going to go down. We're going to ask him some of those questions. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We'll do the Veterans Tribute. We'll do the weather. And then Jay Young on the other side. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by a true patriot, John Basiliga. Since it's the weekend upon us, we talk about the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. I told you I went to Abe's on, what was it, Tuesday, me and the Bulldog with our friend Bill from Pittston, and loved it. Well, there's a second Coney Island opening up in downtown Scranton coming soon, and it'll be part of the Basiliga Hospitality Group, which is 3 great bar restaurants: the Old Brook Inn in Springbrook Township, the Far Street Tavern, West Scranton, the Queen City Tavern in Oliphant, the amazing Stegmeyer Mansion, the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion, which has now been joined by a bed and breakfast, the Fred Stegmeyer Mansion, right down the street from Mary. Best in event space and fine dining. And then at Terra 519 with Sergei's, the nightclub underneath. We tripped the light fantastic there last weekend. Absolutely loved it. Gerald Reich. He was from Luzerne. We lost him at age 77, March 24th. Born in Honesdale, he was known as Jerry or Jake to his family. A graduate of Honesdale Catholic High School and the University of Scranton with a bachelor's degree in computer science. Jerry proudly served all of us in the U.S. Air Force, honorably discharged in 1971. Employed with Leslie Fay for 15 years, later with Dawson Consumer Products and Klein Candy. He also created his own consulting group, the SOTAP Computer Consulting Group. After retirement, he was employed part-time with Pittston Candy and Cigars. Lifelong baseball fan, dedicated Rotarian, first for South Wilkes-Barre, then for Rotary Club of Dallas, Assistant District Governor, Rotarian of the Year, all of that. A devout member of the Holy Family Parish in Luzerne, as well as the St. Conrad's Young Men's Society. Survived by his daughter, Kimberly Reynolds, and her husband, Dan, his brother, Robert, and his wife, Gail, and other family members. Gerald Reich, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resorts, which is swinging into spring. Today, sunshine and a few clouds, breezy this afternoon, gusty winds, low humidity, so watch out. There's dry brush resulting in a high fire threat. Just because, don't be an idiot smoking. I'm going to be smoking cigars today, but I'm not going to throw the ashes or the ashes anywhere, and I'm not going to throw the matches anywhere, okay? Pay attention to what you're doing. So there's a high fire threat, high 62. Tonight, mainly clear, low 40. Tomorrow, turning out cloudy and warmer, 77 degrees. It'll get down to 42 at night. Saturday, mostly sunny and cooler, 60 degrees with a low of 32. Sunday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, 65, low of 50. Monday, warmer with variable cloudiness, high of 74, low of 56. I'll be in Florida this weekend, so I'm not worried about the weather here, but I want it to be good for you guys. And that's all of it from our friends at Montage Mountain Resort, swinging into spring, and they tell us it's 47 degrees on Montage Mountain as I speak. Glenn Campbell. Murph tells us this date, 1977. He moved up to number 5 with his hit Southern Nights. I don't know if I knew that was Glenn Campbell. I knew the song. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. Quickly, Mother Teresa for April 9th. In the world, there are some who struggle for justice and human rights. We have no time for this because we are in daily and continuous contact with men who are starved for a piece of bread to put in their mouth and for some affection. St. Teresa. She just kept her head down and kept going. Oh, gosh, amazing. St. Teresa, thank you, Mary Regina, for getting that into us. So during this 2-week ceasefire, and everybody's worried about gas prices, I got to tell you, I'm not excited to be paying more for gas under this, but I know it's necessary, and I'm actually beyond thankful to Trump for doing it. But during the ceasefire, when it was announced, I mean, prices plummeted under $100. What does that mean for gas prices? So we figured we'd call on our man, Jay Young, founder and CEO of King Operating Corporation, an oil and gas operator and investment firm in Dallas. And he's written The Upside of Oil and Gas Investing. He writes for Kiplinger. He writes for Forbes. And we've talked to him a number of times before. Jay, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show.
Hey, Bob, thanks for having me on again. Always a pleasure.
Well, all right. So tell me, Jay, where a lot of people said, and I was trying to explain yesterday, I said, look, today's gas prices, because even after, and this is in Pennsylvania, Northeast Pennsylvania, after the announcement, our gas prices went up in Northeast Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, you're having a little after effect of it. And people say that. People go, well, why'd they go up so fast and they're slow to fall? And I get it. You know, I mean, not that oil prices have really come down that much. They're $100 a barrel today. But, you know, I think they get you in the very beginning because when prices go way up, they bought some of that oil and gasoline at cheaper prices, and they're just able to gouge you at the pump. I hope there's not any gasoline station owners out there but that's how I feel. Now, the slower to come back, I do agree with, because they have been buying oil at the higher prices, and that after effect has to take a little bit of time for it to catch on. So it does take a little bit of time, but it's like I said, it's $100 a barrel right now or more, and it's not going to come down. This ceasefire, even though we may have a ceasefire, which I turned on the TV this morning pretty early, and I saw it looked like a ceasefire to me. It looked like we're still going at it, you know.
It seemed to me
there's been so much.
Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I was just going to say that there's been so much disruption in the oil and the global oil. I mean, there's been this Strait of Hormuz and 20%, but the big disruption is there's so much oil that they've had to shut in 12 to 15 million barrels a day, because they just can't keep producing 20 million barrels a day if they can't get it through the Hormuz to sell it, because they don't have the storage capacity. So they shut down so much oil production up in the northern region of the Persian Gulf, and now they're having to hopefully turn it back on if we ever get back to normal with the Strait, which may take some time to get there. But when you turn these wells back on, they're not going to come back on just at the same rate, at the same speed that as you would think. It's not a spigot, if you will, and it's going to take. I mean, the world's going to have to change how we get our oil every day. It's literally going to change the face of where the oil comes from every day, and there's going to be some big shifts that are. I mean, usually you had OPEC and you had United States, and you got a little bit of oil out of Canada, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. If prices went down, if OPEC slammed the market and put a lot of oil in the market, well, if they took it off, it went up. I mean, today it's going to be different because you can't count on the Middle East anymore. So it's going to be different. We're going to be in a different world.
Jay Young is our guest. He is the founder and CEO of King Operating Corporation in the oil and gas industry. They're also an investment firm in that space. Jay Young, tell me, have the Saudis completed their alternate route to avoid the Persian Gulf? I think that would be significant.
It'd be huge, right? That's what my wife said this morning, too. Is like, why don't they just go a different direction? I said, well, the canal stopped right there, so it's not like you can't go north. There's no North River Canal, if you will, but they could pipe it out of there, and they're working on that feverishly. I mean, 90% of Saudi Arabia's money comes out of their oil production. I mean, that's their budget. I mean, it's like that's how they run their country. It's not. We don't run our country off anything except taxes, and but not oil and gas. Oil and gas is a big producer. Obviously, we produce 13 million barrels a day, but they run their business, and they haven't been able to sell any oil, 90% of their oil in a long time.
Yeah, and
they're finding, they've got to find ways, because that's, if you think about it, about 3 million barrels a day at $100 a barrel, and every day was that $300 million a day. That's $1 billion in 3 days, $2 billion a week or something. That they're not getting paid, and they haven't gotten paid. So they've got to find something else. I know they've been worried about this for years, but it's now a reality. They're going to have to do something else to make money, to get paid.
Well, Jay Young, one of the looming possibilities, despite this, and I think the ceasefire was based on fig leaves. Whether we get anywhere for real is another. I don't think Trump wanted to do that devastating attack. I don't think Iran wanted it. I don't think the rest of the world wanted it. China, you name it. But if we get to the point where we take out Iranian energy infrastructure, is that what you're talking about? Sort of a permanency in permanent difference in oil and energy markets?
Yeah, I mean, you got some other places that they're looking for huge fields of oil that they, like Africa has a lot of great prospects over there. They could produce it. Argentina or Venezuela, we're a matter of fact, right now we got about 1 million barrels a day. I heard that we are, they're producing, and they're having the refineries up in Mississippi. So
that's about triple what it was when Maduro got taken out, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So they've increased it, and they will after they put a lot more money into it. So yes, but yeah, I don't know what kind of damage has been done, but that's another factor. What kind of damage has been done, Cargo Island and other places, that it's not normal. We're not going to be at normal anytime soon. And that's why I feel like that oil and gas prices are going to be at a bad place for consumers, a good place for producers. I mean, oil and gas companies, we're selling oil at $55 a barrel, and it goes to 95 or 100, and we're selling it for more money. It's a better return for our clients, and they fill at the pump, but they also get a revenue check that they offset that pretty considerably. So yeah. I think it's going to be a really good time for the oil and gas industry. Unfortunately, when the price, I think what was it, $830 million more. The consumers at the pumps are paying $830 million more dollars a day at the pump than they were in December when you were paying $1.92 or dollar. Some people were paying less than $2 a gallon. It's just so much that has to flow through, and there's so much more money. And then that's only gasoline, and transportation goes up. And
diesel prices are back to nosebleed.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not helping anything with the oil that we're getting out. But I tell you what, the oil coming out of Venezuela is almost like that. It's so thick that that's the kind of oil we need in some of these refineries, and we've just been so. The United States is producing more oil right now than it has in a long time. And the reason why is because of drill, baby, drill. And our refineries here just can't handle all of our oil. So we're having to ship some of our oil overseas, and then we get it back. So it's kind of crazy, but that's just the way you got to do something, and that keeps the price up. But right now, with rig count that was down, you'll see a lot of companies adjusting their budgets in 2026 and 2027 with higher prices. So we will get back to drilling, and we get back to drilling, we put more oil in the market. Then
are you seeing that, Jay Young? Are you seeing them say, you know what, we're comfortable investing again? We're comfortable in more investment. All right. That's a big thing.
Not a lot, but I mean, we even look through our stuff and go, hey, what workovers can we do? We got a well up in, outside Midland, and it's been producing, and it broke down, and it's $30,000-$40,000 to fix it. And we're like, man, should we fix it? At $50, we may get it back in 18 to 24 months, but at $100, man, we get that money back in 3-4 months.
Yeah,
it's a positive, So there's a lot of that going on. Now, whether or not we're going to increase, rig count back to where we were 2 years ago, 3 years ago or not, I don't know, but it does. Higher prices do help prospects.
Amen.
And drilling prospects, because it makes more sense, financially. So I haven't heard a lot, but also a lot of companies are just now trying to adjust and say, okay, should we, and when should we, seriously consider this? Is this for real? Which, Bob, I've been saying that on your show for a long time. Hey, prices are going to go up. And that was before the war. I said that.
They did. Yes, you did. Well, Jay Young, founder and CEO of King Operating Corporation, he lives the life of a landman every day. So we love talking to him. Jay, I can't wait till the next season comes out to bother you about it. I love that show.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, Bob. Good talking to you and your listeners. If they go to kingoperating.com, they can get a copy of my book. I have the audio out there. I want people to learn more about oil and gas and what it takes, and what's a good prospect from a bad, because if people want to invest, there's a lot of bad prospects out there, and I want people to understand the difference. So,
no doubt about it.
Just tell me you're a friend of Bob's, and you got your carte blanche, VIP.
Jay Young, thank you very much, my friend. Have a great one. We'll talk to you again soon. Jay Young, King Operating Corporation. We'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. It is 11:10 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Thursday, April 9, 2026, here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga, to honor the veterans we've lost, but celebrate today thanks to him, like Gerald Reich, Luzerne, Myron Fezchak, Plains Township, and Arthur Richard Bokelkamp, West Abington Township. So with history, our great founding fathers, who we will never allow to be canceled, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Bob Cordaro back, and that was the great Foster Brooks. He'll make you wet your pants. He's so good. Unbelievable. And I said, I'm flying on a plane tomorrow. Why not play that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody says, don't forget the Biden Stolen Valor hometown banner. No, we're doing this afternoon, or rather after this commercial break, right, Bulldog? We got the Biden Stolen Valor. We're not forgetting about these fools. A lot of people. So gas prices up just because Trump wanted to start a war. Well, you're a stupid ass. That's what you are. Trump is saving. If you don't care about your grandchildren, your children, fine. Then just go on and don't bother me. I'm not interested in your opinions. We are in the process of crushing a world threat, and an imminent one. People had the power to bring about World War III and possibly the apocalypse, and said they were going to do it. Thank God. By the way, my man Mark the Shark from Hazelden points out to me, it's National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day. Thank you for that. National Prisoner of War Recognition today. Good stuff. Very important stuff. So anyway, there's Pennsylvania Polka Fest. It's going on this Saturday at Mohican, Pennsylvania. It's sold out. I said, of course I'll promote it. You got polka legend Jimmy Sturr and the Jimmy Sturr Orchestra, a tribute to John Stanky. I mean, this is the deal. This is the real deal. And it's part of America's 250th birthday. And a guy who's always in the center of the action, our friend Tom Greco. Tom, how are you, my friend?
Good morning. Very, very well. Thank you.
It's good to have you on. Well, tell us, we can't go because it's sold out, but tell us about this Mrs. T's Pierogi Pennsylvania Polka Fest. What a great event.
Well, first of all, how do you follow all that energy that you have? And I appreciate you giving us an opportunity to talk about it. And Mrs. T's has been our sponsor, and 2027 will be their 75th anniversary.
Wow.
And, it's Mrs. T's Pierogies is a national thing, and we take it for granted because it's right here local, down out of Shenandoah area. But, yeah, the Pennsylvania Polka Fest is big. It's sold out. It's the first of our series of events of the America 250 in NEPA. And that just sort of put us over the edge.
Yeah.
And everybody's patriotic, and they want to be a part of the celebration and the birthday of America.
And what a great way is to celebrate the Slavonic heritage through this Polka Fest. People who helped build this country for real and certainly are the backbone of this region.
Certainly, that are hardworking folks. And, I mean, it takes so many different areas and countries that celebrate polka music, and we bring all kinds of ethnic backgrounds together. And it's a great thing to see because it's generational.
Yeah.
You see from great-grandmoms and grandmoms and the daughters and then the kids all out there dancing. And it's an amazing thing. My mother's 96 years old. She'll be there.
Nice.
As part of her Slovak background. And she and my Aunt Val Janetti were avid polka fans. And Joe Nardone's wife is 100%, I think, Slovak, but she celebrates it. And Joe Nardone and Irene will be out there dancing.
Nice.
With everyone else. So it's just a great family tradition for folks. Once a year, we pull together the best in the nation and in polka music. You've got the 18-time Grammy Award winner Jimmy Sturr with his full orchestra. You've got the Family Polka Band, which is down out of Pottsville and Bloomsburg area, and they've been Grammy nominated. They are the future of polka music. And, of course, you've got the traditional standby, Joe Stanky, and the cadets who will be there performing as a tribute to his brother who passed on Christmas, John Stanky, and the coal miners. So we have a crew of 14 of the daughters and the band members from John Stanky's group that will be there. And Deborah and Kim are going to be going up on stage performing at least 3 songs in Joe's band. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
How nice. So this is part of, you mentioned it, this is part of America 250 in Northeast Pennsylvania, which is coming this summer. Tom, you're involved in that. You're heavily involved in this. Tell us what that's going to be about.
Well, first, I want to just make sure folks know that there's the America 250, which is national. And, you know, on a statewide level, it's just too political. And this is supposed to be apolitical.
Yes.
And there's not much going on locally. So what we decided is America's all about we the people. It's all about the small businesses and the people that fought for this country. And that's what we decided to do. So we formed with our own trademark, America 250, and we have a website, America250NEPA.com. And we've got a series of events that we're giving back to the people, which I'm underwriting. And so the first event was the Polka Fest. And we're celebrating our ethnic heritage moving forward. But we're going to have a press conference later this month, and we're going to be announcing all the dates and all the particulars. But I could tell you that it's going to involve big concerts. You know, Mohican Pennsylvania, has Party on the Patio. Well, we're doing concerts on the patio.
Nice.
We have 2 huge concerts coming up celebrating, you know, the old Harvey's Lake Amphitheater. I had Crosby, Stills, and Nash there, and I had Bad Company there. So we're doing a tribute to Crosby, Stills, and Nash at Mohican, and it'll be a concert on the patio. We're doing a tribute to Bad Company, and the original. You know, it's great that the original singer and the guitar player, Bucket Caldwell, they're going to be there. So the particulars will be announced. We're doing a Frank Sinatra black tie event, including Steve Maglio, who played the Kirby and sold.
That's my buddy.
1,000, you know him?
Yeah.
1,000 seats. He plays the Carnegie Club every Friday and Saturday in New York City.
Yep.
We're limiting the tickets to 500 people, and it's going to be an evening with Steve Maglio and our good friend Chris DiMatteo.
Nice.
And
when
so
is that?
Are
you announcing that date shortly?
Well, I'll give you that date. It's going to be July 1st.
Nice.
And it's going to be Wednesday, right before the big national celebration on July 4th. But we're doing everything so it's very cheap, very affordable. I'm underwriting it so that everybody can come out and celebrate in a big way. We've got a lot of other things sprinkled in between. We're promoting the Giants Despair race July 11th and 12th. That has its 120th anniversary. They began in 1906. And Planters Peanuts, you know, national, are coming on board.
Nice.
And we're celebrating their 120th.
They were founded here. They should come on board here. They should love it.
Absolutely. We're reclaiming the history of Planters Peanuts.
Nice.
We've been having a tough time over the years, but they've stuck with us, and we are certainly going to reclaim the history. And they're going to be here. I mean, the Nutmobile's coming, and they're going to be. Mr. Peanut's going to be there, involved with some of the events. So it's going to be a great summer. We've got other things that we've got in between, which will all be announced at the press conference. But I can tell you, it even includes a national Elvis tribute.
Nice.
We're bringing in one of the top national Elvis tributes, Jesse Garone. Jesse Garone is actually the name of Jesse Garone Presley. When Elvis was born, they were twins, identical twins. One was stillborn. It was Jesse Garone. So this gentleman has taken on the name as Jesse Garone. He's national, and we'll be celebrating it with him. That'll be another event at Genetti's Ballroom.
Neat.
And once again, tickets will be cheap because we're trying to just make it accessible for everyone to come out and celebrate the 250th birthday of America. So, and it all starts with the Polka Fest, at which time we're giving throughout the summer and through the year, because it's going to go for the whole year, we're giving out 2-foot-tall trophies, America 250 trophies, to those people that have made a big difference in making America great. And the first one will be given out to Jimmy Sturr,
Nice.
the Polka King, the 18-time Grammy Award winner, who we've adopted as a son of Northeast PA because we're the cradle of polka music. And he'll be getting that on stage. And he's doing a patriotic set, patriotic music with a big American flag behind him. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I feel bad that people, and we're getting tons of phone calls and people calling and asking for favors for tickets, but we're bound by the fire code at Mohican. We have tables and chairs out there, and we've been told we can't sell any more tickets. So all the tickets are gone. We really don't have any way to make any more available. So, I'm sorry about it. We could always next year.
Never apologize for success. we got to keep polkas going, and this event does it. Tom Greco, thank you for the preview on America 250 in Northeast PA. Thank you for doing the Polka Fest Saturday. It's going to be a blast. And you feel free to come on anytime to talk about all of these events. Love it.
And just keep in mind, I want to mention Joan Ardone, Jimmy Delacroce, and I are three people that underwrite the Polka Fest. So, they've been good in helping us and standing by all these years. But thank you very much for the time. And I appreciate your listenership out there listening to what we have.
Well,
Thank you.
You are welcome anytime, Tom Greco. Thank you, man. Polka Fest Saturday, sold out, but much more to come. And that's the way it works with guys like Joe Nardone and Tom Greco. They just keep making things happen. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Atlantic rhythm system. I always thought it was the Atlanta rhythm section. Murph teaches me something every day about music. But the Atlantic rhythm section had their first career top 10 hit. And number 10, with So Into You. And, of course, the announcement. And how appropriate. This date, 1959, the first 7 astronauts in the Mercury program, then Mercury program. I know those names. And by the way, they were announced prior to me being born. But I know those names as well as any baseball team from its day. And as I always say, I drink Tang to this day. My man Rick texts in. He says, I think Mayor Cognetti isn't running for Congress. She's ultimately running for Fetterman's Senate seat. Yeah. I don't think she's gonna win. And the reason I don't is because in the end, an incredibly accomplished person who's done an amazing job, the best I've ever seen from a freshman congressman, will not be replaced by an incompetent left-wing lunatic. If you even think of voting for Paige Cognetti, come up to Scranton and drive on the streets. That's all I'll tell you. That'll give you everything you need to know. Well, he's got a theme song, and he's been patient. So, of course, we got to play the theme song. And you know who this is. It's Angelutz from Madisonville. Angelo, how are you, my man?
Doing great, man. Bottom John. I'll tell you what, man, it's a heck of a thing to follow. That guy is great to have all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
I tell you, you know me. All my family's Italian, but guess what? We did the polka, buddy.
I'm Italian, but half Polish. My mother's Polish and Slovak. So once I start dancing the polka, and I did it a lot when I was campaigning, I have this little back kick that I throw in there that makes me very authentic as a polka dancer. I haven't done it in 30 years, but I mean, I'm ready.
There you go, buddy. I'll tell you what. I had front kicks, back kicks, roundhouse kicks. I had every kick there's known to man. I have a hard time walking now, so I ain't doing no kicking. Buddy,
well, you would get great momentum on the roundhouse kick.
Oh, boy, you're not kidding. Yeah, 270-pound roundhouse, you're not kidding. Yeah. When I was taking martial arts there, the first thing they taught us, is to run. That's what they said. Run to the nearest cop, or just run. Don't fight. You know what I mean?
That's true discipline. That's the truth of the discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is I never listened to him. I never ran. You know what I mean? It's something else. But I wanted to talk to you about the VFW in the Covington Township in Daleville.
Please.
We had a great lentil every Friday during Lent. We had the dinner and stuff there, and I'll tell you what, the VFW has 3 memberships. I don't know if people in the area, most people probably don't even know that. You got, if you have the DD 214 from the military, you join. And
in other words, if you deserve a hometown hero banner.
Yeah, right. Not the one that's down in Greenridge. But the thing is, you got a social membership, then you got an auxiliary membership, and then you got the membership of the VFW members. You know what I mean? The veterans. But people don't know that. You know what I mean? That place gets packed during Lent because it's one heck of a meal. And I had friends that came from St. Mary's, Georgia. They're snowbirds. They got a couple places up here, and they live in, like I said, Georgia. And they were astonished how the meal was. And they both got the works. The whole. You could get everything separately, but you could get the works, right? And they had the music going. The one day they had the girls playing. They're the girls that used to play at the Holiday Inn before it burnt, before the fire. and every other Saturday, and it was jammed. I mean, people were dancing. They had a good time. And some of the veterans that listen to you, I'm in there and I'm telling them, you got to turn that, you want to know what's going on. Why are you asking me? Turn on WILK at 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. Maybe you'll learn something. You know what I mean? And so my buddy Rob, he was a guard, and you know him. And he used to go to on patrol in the car, and he'd be listening to us on the radio, and he that made his day, because the people that do know about you and listen, they're astonished how you honor the veterans. And I said, he's been doing that since day one, and they said it's phenomenal. That's the most. I don't even remember the word the one guy said, but they're honored just to hear about their fellow military people.
So many led ordinary, what would appear to be ordinary lives, but it's so important to point out, and that's why I love that John Basiliga's on board and kept this going. It's so important to salute the extraordinary service that they provided.
Yeah, I seen him and a couple of the people that we know from Dunmore, and so I'm talking to John, and a couple people come over, and they says, "Oh, you know Angelo?" And I know John. He went to school with my nephew. My nephew was in the Marine Corps, And John goes, "Do I know him? This guy's a legend. What are you talking about?" And I busted out laughing. I said, "No, you're the legend, buddy. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for sponsoring the veteran thing." And like on Tuesdays up there where I was going, it's like $2 iced coffee day. That's the only time I drink coffee. And the place was jammed. There must have been a meeting about something, And I'm looking, and I'm thinking, there's one guy from Dunmore missing. I said, "Where's Cordaro?" There's one guy missing there. Wasn't it fun going to Joe's Quick Mart, sitting there talking to Uncle Leonard and Sandy and all of them guys when they were there?
Great people.
Man. I'd sit there and I could talk. I mean, that's one thing I'm good at, that and eating macaroni. And I'll tell you something right now, to listen to some of the conversations you had with them, and then you left, and Uncle Leonard said, "He's a smart guy, ain't he?" I said, "Well, of course he is. He's from Dunmore." You know what I mean? What Cordaro is it? You know what I mean? I miss that. I miss, there's too many of them gone.
I know. Time marches on. There's no there's no fear or favor with time. It just keeps going, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And you go into Dunkin' Donuts in Dunmore now, it's not the same.
No.
Well,
but it's what it is, and we'll enjoy it for what it is, right, man?
That's right.
All right, Angelo. Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure. Arrivederci. All right. Hey, we'll take this break. We'll come back. We got a Veterans Tribute. We got the weather, and we got some more phone calls we got to get to. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you dutifully, loyally, patriotically by a great friend of the veterans, John Basiliga. Today featuring one of his great companies, Basiliga Hospitality. 3 great bar restaurants. I always lead with them, and I love them, I'm telling you. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township, the big addition for an event space and to expand the kitchen going on now. I was there, didn't disrupt the service one bit. It's going to make things even better. The Old Brook Inn. Far Street Tavern. Used to be Colorasi's owned it. And it is a neighborhood tradition, a neighborhood institution reimagined by John and his gang. And you're going to love the Far Street Tavern. Oh, they're going to have the windows open. They're going to have the doors open. It's going to be gorgeous. Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant, outdoor seating as well. Amazing transformation. Downtown Scranton, you got the Terra 519 restaurant. The class of Northeast Pennsylvania in a modern take, and they've got an amazing happy hour. $10 drinks, $6 craft beer. All that luxury for a modest price. The Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre, they got their own happy hour deal. But it's an amazing event space. This is the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion. Amazing event space. And a great restaurant. Toddle down the street, South Franklin, you'll run into the Fred Stegmeyer Mansion. You're going to want to stay there. It's the bed and breakfast in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Fred Stegmeyer Mansion. Check it out. Myron Fezchak. He was 89 when we lost him March 23rd. He was from Plains Township, born in that great town. He was a graduate of Plains Memorial High School, class of 54. He was an Army veteran serving all of us from 60 to 62. He had a love for cars and had a small car dealership and auto shop in his backyard. He was close with family even while working throughout the day. A hard worker, he ran his business into his mid-80s. Man of great faith, Myron was a lifelong and devoted member of St. Peter and Paul Ukrainian Catholic Church in Wilkes-Barre. He served as superintendent, sexton at the parish cemetery, cantor, participating with his wife in the weekly mass. Myron was very devoted to his wife, children, grandchildren, and his church. You know, something maybe people didn't know about him, he had his pilot's license in his younger years, enjoyed flying his Cessna and later model airplanes. Preceded in death by his dear wife of 57 years, Janet Lettieri Fezchak, back in 2023. Siblings predeceased him as well, but surviving 4 children, 7 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, and other family members. A great legacy. Myron Fezchak, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort, who are swinging into spring. Full slate of activities, and you go get the Wagyu burger. Just take my word for it. Today, sunshine and a few clouds, breezy this afternoon. Gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush result in a high fire threat. So don't be just throwing the matches, okay? Don't be throwing the cigarettes, okay? High 62 today. Tonight, mainly clear, low 40. Tomorrow, turning out cloudy and warmer. It's going to be 77 degrees Friday, low of 42 overnight. Saturday, as Cutie would say, mostly sunny and cooler, high 60, low 32. Sunday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 65, low 50. Monday, warmer with variable cloudiness, high 74, low 56 degrees. 54 degrees at Montage Mountain as I speak, so it's nice and warm. I'm telling you, it's a great place just to hang out. Just to hang out on the deck, have a cigar. Oh, I love it up there. Montage Mountain bringing you all of this weather. Just proving the mental illness of the left. Promoting, praising the rise in gas prices for no good reason, by the way. No good reason. For a sick, twisted agenda back then. Now, to save the world from a lunatic regime which wanted to bring about the end of the world? Oh, no, it's not worth it. My God, they're sick bastards, believe me. Day 115, the disgrace continues. The Greenridge Neighborhood Association, I urge you, go to the Facebook page, go to their webpage, let them know your thoughts in a nice way, please, in a civil way. Yes, the paint spattered Joe Biden hometown hero banner put up by the Greenridge Neighborhood Association and kept up by the Greenridge Neighborhood Association even after they found out that it was for veterans only. And they knew scumbag dodged service multiple times. We say take that tattered banner down. It's a disgrace. You should be ashamed of yourself. Biden banner disgrace. Stolen valor. Day 115. By the way, I was right. It's the Atlanta rhythm section. My man Mark Mayer pointed that out to me. It says on the script, and look, I'm Ron Burgundy. I'm just reading what's in front of me mindlessly. The Atlanta, it said the Atlantic rhythm section, and it wasn't. It was the Atlanta rhythm section. We're finishing with David Bowie. Let's Dance, and featuring blues guitarist Stevie Ray Vaughan, Murph tells us. And it was the number one hit in the UK this date, 1983. Not a great selection today for some reason. So, hey, Bob, he's a Democrat. Idiots won't mention when Biden was in when gas went up to $4 a gallon. That doesn't matter, according to them. It's just stupid. Somebody else, by the way, on another note. Hey, Bob, just want to say Bob Parker. Remember Bob Parker Health Markets? Is wonderful. Saw him on Tuesday for the, and I'm going through the welfare department and nonsense she's going through. He's such a big help to want me to help him praise and keep prayers going for me. Thank you, says our friend, Ginny C. Bob Parker and Ginny C together. That's a great thing. Although Bob Parker owes me a phone call if he's listening. All right. We're wrapping up here. We got to sneak 2 quick calls in. Jim, my apologies. We only got 30 seconds for you, my brother.
Hey, that's fine. I just called quick about my phone call with Sue yesterday, but I get the long story short. It was the Democrats are so crazy. The guy that called in was talking about transgender sports, and he was trying to compare Division I with high school, and
okay. They're just idiots. They're idiots. You can't. There's no sensible conversation with those people. There isn't.
Comparing unisex bathrooms to transgender people using normal bathrooms, and I had a phone call around 2:00 with her, and she let me say my piece, but didn't really go back and forth, but. If you could, check it out yesterday around 2:00.
I'm not going to do that.
My phone call.
You know I won't do that.
I learned a lot from that phone call. The way they think that, even going to the with the illegals that are out of 500,000.
Think the opposite of that which makes sense. That's what the Democrat Party stands for. The opposite of that which makes. Hey, we got to go, man. I got to take one more call. Thank you, Jim. Pleasure. Bill from Pittston. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that Michael J. Fox is dead, according to CNN. They announced it. He tuned in. They said the life and times of Michael J. Fox, so he put a press release saying, what should he do? Should he tune into MSNBC or whatever they call it? Should he pour boiling water on his lap to make sure he's alive? And should he console his family and let them know that he really, truly is alive?
Well, Michael J. Fox, that's what you get for being a liberal, probably, Bad news. Bad news reporting. Amazing.
You can count on CNN for the straight news. And that guy from the Tribune in Scranton, he's got a job at CNN.
Yeah, from bad to worse. Thank you, Bill. Hey, it's 12:00. We got to go. It's just what is. Guys, I'm not going to see you till Tuesday. I'm going to miss you, I promise. But God willing, I'll be back Tuesday, 9 a.m. to do this all again, to fight it out, to battle. But for now, I've got to gavel to a close this week's meeting of the Club for Common Sense and tell you adios until next week. Have a great one, guys.